Ladies and gentlemen, we've teased about him all week. He's finally here. Welcome, Vinnie Montez, to One More on Radio.
Yay!
James, hey, James and James, what's going on, fellas?
How you doing, sir?
Hey.
I'm doing good. Sir, who are you talking to?
Well, you know, we call everyone sir, ma'am.
Oh.
We're old school, so, you know, we're a little up there in our ages.
Man, Dan, you guys are taking me back to the day.
I know,
Thinking
right?
I'm old and stuff. Like, da na 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 na.
Oh, all right. First of all, I kind of want to talk to you about Humanize the Badge. I know it's an important part. I know it's a very important thing in law enforcement and, you know, officers around the world. Tell me about that.
So I got to tell you, it's kind of a unique story with me and Humanize the Badge. I've been a cop for 23 years, and I started doing comedy, and I think a lot of people around the world, and I should say around the country mainly, became familiar with Officer Daniels and some of the online comedy he was doing, and continues to do to this day. And I emailed him one night, and I was like, hey, I'd love to collaborate with you. And, you know, I didn't think anything was going to come of it. And one night I'm getting ready to do a show, and lo and behold, Officer Daniels shows up at the show, and we start talking afterwards. And, you know, we started just evaluating, you know, who I was, what I do, and the comedy that I bring to law enforcement, stand-up specifically. And the group invited me out to Las Vegas to one of their Project Human events. And we were there shortly after the Mandalay Bay shooting, and we helped raise some money for some of the officers that were involved in that, and also visited the kids who were incarcerated, the youth, and spent time talking to them, and also were there for some of the projects that Humanize the Badge does related to helping people with mental health, and it was great. So that was my introduction to Humanize the Badge, and I always wanted to, you know, see what that group was about. And then eventually they inducted me as an official member in 2018, which has been amazing. And the sole mission of Humanize the Badge is simply that, to give people an opportunity to see the opposite side of, you know, sometimes the negative things that are associated with law enforcement are inherent. You know, people don't call us for, you know, all the positive things. You know, somebody graduates from high school or college,
Right.
or there's cake for an anniversary. Nobody calls 911 and says, hey, send everybody over on the ship.
Right.
We're together tonight, right?
Absolutely.
So, you know, Humanize the Badge is really simply the mission to build a relationship and a bridge with the community, so people have a chance to see who we really are, the men and women who are behind that badge, the vest, and the gun, and not just simply what's represented in those times where, you know, social media oftentimes plays it very negatively. It gives a spin of the other side. So a very good opportunity for people to see and hear from people on the other side and what's positive about law enforcement.
That is excellent. We need more of that in this world, that's for darn sure, because there is definitely not enough nowadays.
Yeah, and I love the people that are part of this group. You know, there are people who are retired, people who are current, and it's a collective from across the country. I would say about a dozen of us, and it's just been amazing, and I'm very humbled to be part of this group.
Sounds amazing. Yeah, that's really cool. I'm really glad that we need that. Every place needs that for sure.
Do you say you've been in law enforcement for 23 years?
Yeah, I went to the academy here in Colorado where I work at. You have to put yourself, if you don't work for like a huge agency such as Denver or Aurora, you have to put yourself through the academy, or you get sponsored. Mainly back in that late 90s, you had to go to your own academy. So I went to the academy, and then I got picked up by the agency I work for today, and I started there in 98, and here we are in 2021. It's just, 23 years ago.
That's a roller coaster. It's
a long time. I can't believe it's just gone by so quick. Because I remember the other day, you know, the first time, you know, before I even started putting on my uniform, standing there in the mirror and just looking at myself going, oh, yeah, Daddy has arrived, baby. Daddy has arrived.
I've never done that. Twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, every cop has done that.
Yes.
They're so full of it if they say they haven't done that. You know, you get those uniforms and you're like, oh, yeah, I'm going to save the world
Exactly.
right now by myself.
Yeah, I think I went through the academy early 90s, and yeah, times have changed since then. There's a lot of stuff that has changed since then.
Ooh, that's a question. What did you ever drive a Crown Vic?
Oh yeah.
Man, the Crown Vic was the best car I've ever driven in my entire life. I wish they don't make cop cars like that anymore. Matter of fact, where I work now, I'm in charge of our fleet, and we just got the new Tahoes in. And it's got like this toggle switch, shift the gears, and I'm like, how is that even a cop car?
Why? Just why?
I know there's going to be cops, going to be a hot call or something like that. They're going to be reaching for this gear shift, and there's going to be nothing there. So,
and see, everybody likes the Crown Vic. I am particular to the old Caprices because those things were boats, but they flew.
What they used to call them, the Scud missiles, or
they flew.
The Sharks or something.
Yeah.
You're talking about the ones that had
the big old
wheel partially covered on the back.
Yeah, like the big old boats.
Yeah, the boats.
Yes.
Yeah,
I love that.
They don't make
thing.
cop cars like that anymore.
No, they don't. No, they don't. So, okay, I have a question. You said when you were in Vegas, you went to the Shake Shack.
Oh yeah.
Okay. What did you get? Because I was watching your act there, your comedy, and I was like, man, Shake Shack. What the heck did he get?
Dude, I think I got like a double burger. I'm pretty sure it was like a double burger. And the only reason I know that's pretty standard for me. I like a good meal.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to be left empty-handed. So I can tell you, I got a double cheeseburger without like really worrying about whether or not that's how it occurred. I'm pretty confident about it. And then I would say I got some fries, which was definitely for sure because I'm kind of weird. I like to dip my fries because I got the most important part of that meal was chocolate peanut butter shake.
That's what it was.
And,
okay.
And I love, when I say love, I love dipping my fries in a chocolate shake.
Yes.
I don't know if you go to Wendy's. Do you have Wendy's out where you're at?
Actually, the headquarters for Wendy's is in Dublin, Ohio.
Oh, really? That's awesome. Yeah. So I love that. I think that's like my favorite treat is dipping the Wendy's fries in the Frosty. Oh, that's just money right there.
Gloriousness. Absolute gloriousness. Do you think, you're a comedian, you're famous amongst, a lot of people, but mostly geared towards officers. Do you think that part has helped you in your job, or do you think it's hurt you? The comedy part.
I think there's pluses and minuses to it. It's funny you say that. Oh, you're famous. I was going to Chipotle one time. I was at a training, and you just made me think of this. And I go in there, and there's this, I think I was in the school with the FBI for hostage negotiation. And they break the class for lunch, and I go into Chipotle, and there's these two deputies that are working. They come in to eat. And they sit down next to us, and one dude just keeps looking over at me. And it's this big deputy, real big presence. Like, he's been doing the job for a minute. Keeps looking over at me. And I'm just smiling. Hey, what's up, bro? The normal stuff, man. How's it going? Everything good? Busy, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, man, how does it feel to be regionally famous, bro? How does that feel to be regionally famous?
Regionally.
What is even that? What is that? First words out of his mouth. It's like, how does it feel to be regionally famous? So that just told me that I'm nobody, and I appreciate it. So,
I think
you got to keep it. You got to keep humble, man. Like my mom and my dad come from such humble means, and I look at myself as a person who has a privilege and an opportunity to really break down some barriers. And the number one thing, the positive side of it is the number one thing when I perform at like Comedy Works in Denver or other big clubs around the country. The number one thing that I get asked every time I get off stage is, are you really a police officer? And I think that's because most people don't think of cops as funny. And again, they don't see cops in that moment. I mean, when you're getting pulled over, you're not thinking that cop is funny. You're just thinking, oh man, this cop is going to give me a ticket. And so I have an opportunity to break that ice, and people look at it and they're like, wow. So it gives them a unique perspective into, again, humanizing the badge and just thinking of us in a different way. And the other part about it is I think the positive part is just an opportunity for me to share some of the stories that I see and twist it and make it funny. And so that's for the people that are the regular civilians. And then for the cops, I think it's a really positive area because Like I came out with a joke, I want to say last year, called Dark Humor. And it's really based on a true story about a guy shooting himself. And I don't know if you guys have seen that bit, but it's just talks about the dark humor that cops have. And people don't really realize police officers are extremely funny. Anybody who's ever sat in a briefing and watched the entire, snowstorm that goes on in there where everybody's just giving each other crap, and God forbid you crash your car on duty, everybody shows up, and you're like, holy cow, dude, I can't believe you did that. Or God forbid you lock your keys in your car with it running. Oh my God.
We've been there.
Right?
Yeah.
We've all been there.
Yeah.
So, you just hope that you don't make a mistake as a cop, and people think we're hard on them. And I'm like, oh, no. You need to go to a briefing and watch how relentless we are on each other. So, there's a positive for me to be able to relate to that. And then the other part about it is, I think, this is probably what I'm most proud about. The positive side is the ability to share the fact that I was struggling with my mental health, be open about that, and hopefully reach some officer, paramedic, firefighter, or anybody else who might be in that crowd and tell them at some point during my show, which I do every single show, talk about why I got into comedy. And if that prevents them from committing suicide or at least helps them reach out to get help, then I think the mission is accomplished for me, because that is such a huge deal today. We lose 3 times the amount of cops through their own hand today than we do in the line of duty. And that's a very sad statistic, especially for these men and women who are really giving it their all day in and day out.
And that's exactly why we do this. The exact reason why we do this.
Well, amen, brother.
You go to our website and we got, things that, we posted that people can go to and seek help, and inspirational quotes and just all kinds of funny stuff and serious stuff. And that's why we do this. The exact reason is because we're tired of losing brothers and sisters.
Yes. Could not agree more.
What advice do you have for someone who's feeling down or depressed? Do you have like some words of wisdom you can throw in there?
I don't know that I have words of wisdom, but I'll just be candid about where I was. The breaking point for me was in 2008 when this kid, I lost this kid in the field and trying to do CPR on him, came upon an accident off duty. And after that call, I just broke down and I was just really overwhelmed with emotion. And people are like, well, man, that one call did it to you. And I was like, no. Not at all. That call was just the culminating event. It started much earlier, even when I was an explorer in the early 90s, seeing things like, the first time I ever saw a dead body, I was about 16 years old, and I was riding with a deputy. I was seeing a lot of trauma, and I was taking a lot of stuff in. But, in the early 90s as an explorer, and later on when I became a cop in the late 90s, there was a lot of stigma I felt. It wasn't outright talked about, but you didn't see deputies and officers talking about their feelings. You good? Yeah, I'm good. You good? Yeah. Everybody was always good. And that mentality of, not showing weakness, I think there was a lot of fear, at least for me. I felt like, if I admitted I was weak in struggling with my mental health, then all of a sudden maybe those partners that I work with wouldn't count on me or think of me less. And after, having the opportunity to do some soul searching and reaching out for help and making it through it, looking back on it, I was like, man, I was crazy for thinking that. And especially today, there is some places still some stigma around mental health, but it has changed a lot. And I want people to know that, I don't care if you're 6'4", 240 pounds, just solid rock muscle, and you've been there and you've been in OISs and you just have seen it all and you've been there and done that. It doesn't mean you're not subject to struggling with mental health. And so there's no reason to be ashamed of it. It's something that we have to reduce that stigma, and we have to be just open about it. So I share my story with people. I tell them that, I certainly struggled, and I still, even today, struggle. I mean, COVID was a true test of my mental capacity.
Right. Absolutely.
My lady was like, look, I never intended to spend this much time with you, so you need to go back out on the road.
Get out.
And so it really tested a lot of things. And I'm just a human, just like everybody else. And the thing about it is I want people to not feel ashamed. So, me as a commander in my organization and still being able to achieve the level, because when I had that breakdown, I was a detective, and being where I'm at, this is not going to hem you up. But being open about it, being willing to have that conversation, being willing to reach out for help, whether it be through counseling. I've done that, EMDR therapy, whatever it is. You need to get that help, because here's the deal. I don't want people to be here for a 5 or a 10-year career. I want them to have a healthy, full career, and I want them to be able to enjoy their retirement, because, cops live, far less than the average person after retirement. And I just want people to be healthy and, not go around angry and bitter and resentful, because this job is so noble, and we need those men and women on the street. Because I don't care how much people call for, everything that they're calling for to fund the police and all these different things. There's still vulnerable populations out there, my mom, my brother, who are out there who at any moment could need to call for help. And if they do, I want somebody to answer that call, and I want the men and women who are coming to that call to be as mentally healthy as possible and not to be ashamed for the things that they have to deal with.
Absolutely. Yeah, we kind of have a saying around here. It's we all need backup from time to time. And it's true. We all feel that. And sometimes you just got to reach out and talk to someone about whatever. So it's
100%.
We got backup. All right. Is there a favorite act that you like? Like, is there something, one act that you do that really sticks out that you can't wait to tell?
Oh, man. I mean, I like it all. I like having fun. I love my loofah bit.
Yes. You can do that anytime you want to for us.
All right. Well, I guess it is appropriate, kind of fitting. We are in October.
Yes.
So it's really derived from kind of a real situation. And I say that only in the aspect of the lady was how she was dressed. The rest of this may or may not be true. More than likely, not true. It's not true. It's just a lot of fun to tell. The punchline is the only thing that works that way. But a couple years ago, driving down the road, see this lady on the corner of the boulevard dressed up like a white cotton ball. So me being the cop that I am, I got to check this out. So I roll up on her. I'm like, woo! Of course, I don't know if you have your favorite kind of siren, but that's mine. That's my that's my pocket siren right there. You never know. You never know. So I come rolling up, and I pull up next to her and hop out of my car. I'm like, hey, I got to know, what are you? She's like, me, officer? I'm like, yeah, you. What are you? She's like, I am a loofah. So I'm like, you're a loofah? She's like, uh-huh. And I'm like, oh. And she just caught me right off at the knee. She's like, are you a dirty officer? And I'm like, what? And I was like, maybe? And she's like, man, I'm going to give you the best washing you've ever had there, officer. I'm like, oh, my Lord. And I'm thinking to myself, man, there's this time in the world where, like right now especially, there need to be cops out there building relationships with citizens, building bridges, even if it's only one person at a time. And I was like, man, I am equal to the task. I will do that right now. And I'm like, so I was like, I got you, sister. I turned on all the strobe lights in my cop car. I grabbed the PA and I just started breaking it down. I was like, she's like, oh, shit. We're going to make some money. She's backing it up and backing it up and backing it up. And I'm like, oh. So I'm like, man, we're into it. I got this side of the street, this side of the street. I mean, like, everybody's into it, man. I'm like, hey, oh. I mean, everybody's into it. Kids are coming out. Preschools are stopping what they're doing. I mean, it is a spectacle to see in the middle of the roadway. We're so into it, man. Everybody's vibing. When you got that cool riff going on, people are just vibing. You feel that pump of the throttle. You feel the pump of the waves. You feel the pump of the beat of the bass. And I was like, oh, yeah. And I'm not paying attention. And there comes my supervisor driving around the corner. And I was like,
wah, wah, wah.
I know, man. I was like, what? Oh, my heart sank. It's kind of like when you crash your cop car. You're like, oh, shit. No. I didn't know what to do. So I fell back to what I felt was natural. And I tased the loofah. I lift the loofah up.
Oh God. That poor loofah. Oh,
Twice.
love it.
Fall back on that training, man.
Yeah,
Fall
that's
back on the
right.
training.
It's all about the training.
Yeah, man. Thanks. Let me do that. Appreciate it.
That was
Appreciate it.
awesome.
Now I'm awake.
Good, because I'm about ready to pee my pants. That was hilarious. Anyway, do you have upcoming events you're going to be doing this? I know you have. You said you have one in Dublin.
Yeah.
Dublin, Ohio.
Oh, yeah, man. I got a lot coming up. So this weekend I have 2 shows in our mountains here, back to back, Friday, Saturday. The Steam Plant Theater up in Salida, which is, people are like, this is like out. Yeah, well, I love reaching out to these rural areas because there's a lot of law enforcement that don't have the opportunity to come see shows. So I'm going to be there. A lot of cops coming to see it this Friday and Saturday. Next weekend, I'm in Dublin, Ohio, with The Bridge. I usually go out there every quarter and I do a big show for them. And I'm like, super excited for that. The weekend after that, I'm in San Antonio. I think it's on the 23rd. We just sold all the tickets out for the first show. And it's the 100 Club SA, which is an organization that helps support law enforcement. There for San Antonio PD in Texas. And we're just about to, I think today they're going to start the tickets for the second show at 9:30. And so I'm pretty excited about that. And then I'll be in Dallas. I got Dallas coming up, Seattle at the end of the year. Geez, man, I can't even, I just did Des Moines, Iowa night before last.
That is awesome.
And yeah, so it's been really good, man. I got tons of stuff. I can't even keep up with everything I got going on. I got 2 full-time jobs.
I know. What's the best place for them to keep track of you? Where's the best place for them to go?
So you can follow me. Everything is Vinnie Montez, VINNIE Montez.com. And same thing, my handle is Vinnie Montez for everything on social media. I have everything, Snap, Twitter, Google Gram, whatever you choose to pick. It's all good.
Man, that's awesome.
You have an OnlyFans?
Whoa, hey-o.
What did you say? Do I have an OnlyFans?
Yeah.
How dare you?
I mean,
no, I don't have an OnlyFans.
How do you think I pay the bills? All right, I have one last question, and I'm going to let the producer ask. Okay?
Still the producer.
Yeah.
It's an ongoing debate we've asked every single guest that's ever been on the show.
Yeah, go for it.
Does pineapple belong on pizza?
Tough question. I know. Think about it hard, though.
No.
Oh, yes!
Damn it. I lost.
My better half loves pineapple on pizza, and every time she gets it, I just, I eat. But it doesn't belong on there. Because
you're killing me.
It isn't part of what I expect.
You're killing me, Smalls.
A good pizza pie, you don't see people, if you go to New York, they're like, hey, yo, Joey, hey, go cut the pineapple up, make sure it's on the pizza. Yeah, just put a little bit of pineapple on the pizza. It does not happen. I never heard Joey getting yelled at to put the pineapple on the pizza.
I think he thanks you because I think I'm still up like 2 to, I don't know.
No.
I'm up 2.
No.
Are we even now?
No.
No.
Vinny counts as 3.
Okay.
Wow,
right.
is that because of my size?
No.
Wow, you guys are taking shots here.
So mean.
No, he's still okay. He'll take it. No problem.
Many? Nope. Hey, sir, we really appreciate you calling in. This has been a delight. You are fantastic.
Thank you so much.
We will continue spreading the word on Humanize the Badge and promote your comedy, and you're awesome. That's pretty much all I got to say.
Thanks so much.
Seriously.
James, I really appreciate it. I do appreciate the chance, every opportunity. I'm humbled by the fact that people want to talk with me and hear what I have to say. And, I'm just Vinnie Montez, and I'm just appreciative. And I just want to say thank you for supporting the men and women and, all the things that they struggle with on the street and whatever aspect of law enforcement or first responder you are. It's really important to have people like you guys who are supporting that because, nobody's ever in this alone, and
Correct.
It's important for us to, help each other.
Yeah.
So my kudos to you guys, and really
Thank
showing
you.
a sincere amount of appreciation. It goes back to you guys as well.
Thank you, sir, very much. And
All right.
that
Hope
is
to
it.
see you guys at the show. Matter of fact, if you guys want to come down to Dublin and you want to come to that show, I will get you in.
All right. We might take you up on that. We will definitely take you up on that.
Do it. The show usually starts around like 7:30 or 8. I'm the last thing after. It's a pretty heavy week for the group. The bridge, and maybe you should know this too, because the bridge offers all first responders, dispatchers, correctional officers, and it's free. People sign up for it, and it's for couples, even single first responders, whatever it is. They come down there. They talk about substance abuse. They talk about marriage issues. They talk about all the things that could negatively impact, and oftentimes are impacting the people who attend. And the bridge does a great job by paying for it all. The only thing people have to pay for is their transportation. And people come from all over the country to this event, which is hosted at the Marriott Convention Center there in Dublin, Ohio. Really nice place, really good people. But if you guys want to come down, you can be my guest. I'd love to have you. And just so you guys are aware, that's going to be on the 16th of October. Let me know. DM me, text me, Snapchat me, whatever.
We will be there. Count us in. We'll be there.
Okay.
We will be there for sure. Thank you for the invite.
So I can send some information to you guys, and we'll go from there.
Thank you, sir, very much. And
you're welcome.
Look forward to meeting.